Happy Thanos Thursday, guys. Welcome back once again. Today, we are taking a look at a trendy ongoing deck that I've seen pop up on the ladder quite a bit. Surprised to see it quite as much as I have recently, to be honest. And I've even seen it in Conquest when doing the lower level Conquest modes. But today, I decided to give this trendy deck a try and used it with a gold ticket to see does it really work. But first things first, let's talk about the deck itself. So this is an ongoing deck. There are only two non-ongoing cards in the deck. All right, so first off, we have Ant-Man, very powerful one ongoing cost card. Nebula, one of the non-ongoing cards in the deck. Nebula combos really well with Jean Grey, however, so it makes sense for her to be here. Mojo, very, very powerful. Again, it combos with Jean Grey and it is ongoing. Armor, obvious. Cosmo, obvious. Mobius M, Mobius. This card, I'm not so sure it should be in this deck, to be completely honest. Maybe switching it for a lower cost card would be better. I found the deck was really lacking in getting cards down early on the mana curve. I was struggling with just lots of threes in my hand, not being able to do much, but I'm not, putting out the same amount of power that a Silver Surfer deck would do. So maybe switch Mobius for one of the lower cost, maybe an Echo, something like that. Then there is Punisher, the surprise hit in this deck. The Punisher has been absolutely amazing. Jean Grey, very fun card for you. It helps you to get off your Punisher and Mojo with maximum power. And then, of course, we have Luke Cage because we are running Man Thing, so we are reducing cards. And then the Omega Red. So the Omega Red is there to pump up the rest of the zones to give you that advantage thanks to his recent buff. And then, of course, we have Spectrum, the second non ongoing card in the deck, but an absolutely must have card in the deck. Spectrum is very powerful. It gives all of your ongoing cards +2. It's basically the Silver Surfer, but it is a 6/7, so it's slightly different in how that works. But overall, I felt the deck was really, really fun, and I had great success with the deck. Amazing success. So let's take a look at the results from that, though, because I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We're going to go right into the results now and check out that gameplay. So we are going to watch the recording at a sped up pace, guys, because who really wants to sit and watch me thinking for 10 minutes, right? Nobody wants to see that. So we do open up with no turn one, but we do have a turn two, which is pretty good. So we slam the armor on island to go ahead and get those pluses. And then we follow up with a Punisher here because I wanted to maintain priority. And I'm like, oh, he's on Thor. Okay, I haven't seen that in a while. And I immediately just kind of assume he's playing like Surfer or something. I don't know. I have a little debate here on what I should do. And I'm like, I'll keep getting the pluses from Island. I'll make this side absolutely ridiculous so that Thor can't beat it. And then I'll go for playing as many cards as I possibly can on this turn and see what happens. And then right here, he flips Miss Marvel, and I was kind of surprised. I wasn't expecting this to be a Miss Marvel deck. And I'm a little worried that I'm not going to be able to win this. I'm like, I'm probably going to lose middle. And then I'm like, you know what? This is 9 power mid. I don't think he has a 9 power card, right? So let's just go for it. And it worked out in my favor. He retreated on the snap, but I was still a little worried, and that's why I snapped. But we YOLO'd the 9 and hope for the best. So again, we have another game where we're just nothing on turn one. Nothing on turn one. Then we go to turn two, nothing on turn two. We're doing nothing. We're just sitting here. I'm not a huge fan of that. I go Cosmo on the left because I was like, this seems correct. And then I realized, oh, great, we have the location that moves things. And now obviously we just play everything there because we're not going to be able to play middle. And we just hope it works out for, RNG. We just hope the RNG of it works out, right? So I slam Man Thing, hoping, I was like, well, maybe if I can get Man Thing. I'm like, oh no, well, let's just go with this because I don't know where his cards are going to end up, right? And well, yeah, everything went mid for him. So kind of worked out for me in that sense. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just drop 7 here. That'll go to 10. We'll +4 over left. I'm like, I don't think he can beat this. I was like, he doesn't have 10 here and 8 on the left side to win the game. It's not happening. And sure enough, he did not have it. He had the Doom, which would have tied the plus I was getting off of, but Spectrum won me the game. And I see Jotunheim, and I have Luke Cage in hand. I'm like, immediately, okay, I'm playing on Jotunheim. It's all good. Who cares about the minuses? And then, oh, Owl of Silence. Oh, crap. I'm playing an ongoing deck, and we get the location that negates ongoing. So, of course, he starts slamming cards there. Then we hit the negative zone. He's like, I don't believe you, because, you know, he's seen my Luke Cage setup. So, obviously, he's a little upset that two of the zones favor me. So I do go Luke Cage Ant-Man on this turn. He goes Gladiator. Kind of wish I had priority here because I'm almost certain that the Luke Cage would have saved that Punisher. And then I'm like, YOLO, we're just going to do it and play Omega Red for our pumps. And I'm sitting here looking, and I'm like, boy, that's a lot of power. I'm not sure if I can actually beat this. So I hit the retreat if he retreats, and we wait and see what happens, right? And yeah, he did not retreat. Just I lose the points here, and all good, all good, all good. Going on to the next game, I have a fair idea of what his deck is. We've seen half of it, you know, so I get double Luke Cage this game, and I'm like, well, that's neat, I guess, you know. And he plays Lizard. So when he played this Lizard, I immediately think he plays Enchantress, right? I'm just sitting here thinking like, well, why is Lizard in here if he's not playing an Enchantress or something, right? Or a Luke Cage of his own and he hadn't seen it yet? I don't know. I was a little worried. So he plays the Killmonger, and now you go, okay, I'm just going to go ahead, maybe fill this location. I'm like, no, that's a bad play, but we'll do it anyway. YOLO. And we go into the final turn, and I have, I think I go double Luke Cage. I pick up the Cosmo because I realized, let's just go for 8. I was like, if he dooms here, it doesn't really matter anyway. And, of course, he retreats, and we get another win. And the deck's doing really well. And I'm like, wow, this deck, it's kind of cooking. It's kind of cooking. We're doing well. We go for an Ant-Man. Because I'm like, yo, I'm just going to clone all the small guys, slam a few of them down, and hope for the best. He Shadow Kings, and I was a little surprised because without priority, he could Shadow King and ruin my Spectrum plays. But, you know, it is what it is. I see the Camartage, and I'm like, I cannot let this live, so I am going to Ant-Man, Cosmo, the Camartage, because, well, his middle would get absolutely massive if I don't do it. Sorry, not Ant-Man, Mojo. Because I realized the Killmonger is in his deck. So I change it at the last second and switch it to Mojo. And here we are going into the final turn. I'm like, I'm almost certain I win. Things are about to get really big. He does have the Killmonger, so I played that correctly. And he only had the hammers for the left, and we take that win after the snap. And then I'm like, yo, this deck's good. It's good. It's fun. It's good. I kind of don't like the mana curve a little bit, but I'm having fun. And then we jump into the next game on the Conquest ladder, and this game's a little less fun, guys. I'm going to go ahead and put that out there right now. This game is a lot less fun. So he has the Valentina and the Mojo, and I'm like, okay, it's a Loki deck maybe. So I'm like, okay, cool. He's on Loki. Then he plays White Widow, and I'm like, oh, okay, Spider-Ham. So I'm like, okay, I'll just Jean Grey right. It's fine. Jean Grey right, all good. No worries, right? Super Scroll. And now you see why this game does not go very well. Yeah, the Super Scroll absolutely destroys me. He draws it every single game. He is on Super Scroll. He is on Dino. He is on Ronin. And he is on whooping my ass with that Super Scroll, to be completely honest. So I hit the retreat later to see if he was going to retreat. I don't know why he would, but, you know, hit it anyway. And yeah, so it's just more games of me losing to Super Scroll. And then I eventually quit with like 4 cubes left. And yeah, I'm not going to make y'all sit here and watch this. So I found that this deck just straight loses if you run into Super Scroll. But the good news is Super Scroll is not that played of a card, right? It's not something you see very, very often. And, you know, it's a fun deck. So if you want to give this deck a try, I would say go ahead, go for it. Try out the Omega Red, Spectrum, Ongoing, whatever deck. And maybe, don't run into Super Scroll, right?